So it's my first day here in Elazig, and I'm gonna go Elazig, so I'm gonna go see the Harput castle. This place is really out in the sticks, man. But it's still got a charm to it, I won't lie, and it's nice weather. Elazig is located in eastern Turkey, near the Euphrates River. That's where I am at the moment. It's just shambles everywhere. Shambles. Like even here in Elazig, you got these stray cats everywhere. Any search words here. I don't need to think. Terrible. It's got a beautiful little mosque building. I think it's a mosque. There's all these chaps still sitting on the side of the street. Pretty cool in the sunshine. Everywhere you go, you have broken down buildings. But it's really beautiful. It feels like a campsite, the place. It's kind of enclosed by these mountains, so it feels like a real holiday destination actually, even though it's quite run down. See down there, there's like the hills, kind of like you have at Signal Hill in Cape Town. So it's kind of like the whole place is surrounded by that sort of mountainous. Pretty cool. It's got a tap running in the middle of nowhere. What water shortages in Cape Town. Okay. Now, if you look over there, in the distance, there's snow-capped mountains. That's not where I'm going though. I'm actually going up to this place called the Harput castle, right up the top there of the hill. It's a bit of a trek. I need at least some weight, so that's good. I say it's pretty beautiful here. For a real in the sticks area. It's like some military security zone. Oh, thick. You got a big tanker. Yeah, but I actually think they had an incident here quite a few years ago. It's like the Armenian genocide or something like that. There you can see it. It's a big time military zone in there. And this big tank here. Tank, baby, tank. An army guy. Yeah, so that's I'm going up there now. Harput Harput. There's a castle up there. I'm gonna go check out, and hopefully I get a better view of those mountains and the surrounding area. This place is so remote. It feels like the kind of place you would never ever catch a tourist. Maybe I'm the first one. Now when you're thinking about the Garden of Eden, you're thinking in your mind automatically about, you know, some kind of pristine garden with fairies floating around and unicorns, and I mean, that's just unrealistic, right? It's like God created the world, created a natural world. It's the Garden of Eden. It would have been a place just like any other place, you know, nothing special about it. Well, apart from, there must be something special about it, and God chose it as the first place ever. But in terms of its geography, what we're looking for is not a magical, mystical garden. We're looking for something that fits into the perimeters of what the Old Testament writers told us about. And already, as I've said about in my introductions and in my mapping of the area, is that in my opinion it fits into the perimeters. You know, it's not a garden like people thought it was. It's a piece of land, quite a big piece of land, like almost the size of a province. And it was my first day, so I haven't seen much yet. These little barrels here pouring out, God pouring out his love for the world. No, so I mean, what I was trying to say is, you know, what are you actually going to find in a place like this? I don't know. Maybe there could be something that surprises me, or you, or anybody. But no, so far what it seems to be like is it just a normal place, just a place that is surrounded by mountains, and it's like in a valley, which means it's kind of like what you would think of a garden, how a garden is surrounded by a wall. I originally obviously thought the wall is the water that surrounds, you know, the 4 rivers that water the piece of land. But maybe, just maybe, the walls also, and it's not that this garden would be fashioned after the kind of gardens we have in our Western world or in the world with a brick wall around it, but it would be the fact that people over the years, from the beginning of time, have fashioned gardens after the way that the original Garden of Eden would have been made. And how did we know about it? Well, we knew because the first people knew about it, Adam and Eve and his family, and they passed the stories down through oral or however, whatever means. And you know, that's how the Old Testament writers knew about it, because it went from down the line, you know, from Abraham to Isaac and Jacob, all the way down to Moses and those people. And so yeah, we have a situation where the garden is it was something that was known about. People knew its location. Obviously they didn't have a big map back then, so they were going on like, you know, you cross the great river, this great river, and down to the, you know, but they knew about it. And because even in the Old Testament, in the book of Genesis, after Adam and Eve leave the garden, it's like, it's kind of like God still lived among Seth and Adam's children and spoke to them, and who was it now? Cain and Abel got kicked into the land of Nod. It's very interesting, like the rock. It's like I feel like I'm landed on the moon here with where I think I am anyway. You know, that's my little spiel for while I'm walking up this hill. Yes, this is killing me. Okay. It's just everywhere I look around this place, it just feels like, you know, it feels like the kind of place God would choose as the first place for people to live. You know, it feels safe, like the geography of it. I don't know how I can really, but it's got like nice trees. It's kind of like a forest. Like anyone has ever been to South Africa and you go down to like the Cedarburg, or it's kind of like that. You know, it feels in the mountains, locked away. It's pretty nice. It's kind of like going up Lion's Head here. And these Africans that have gone up Lion's Head a million times, like me. I mean, what are you expecting to find in the Garden of Eden? Lots of trees. You see, the common argument is that the garden would have been destroyed by the flood, and all the trees would have been uprooted, and there would be nothing left. And the river Euphrates and the river, the Tigris River, are not the same ones. Yeah, I mean, but it's important to note, I mean, that, I need to break quick. It's important to note that that's a human argument, right? And it's not really supported biblically. The Bible doesn't say that. Noah and his family, I mean, Moses and the crew who wrote the Old Testament, they obviously didn't think that. Otherwise, why did they give us the name of those rivers? And, you know, one thing I know about the world that God created, if you just look at human beings, is our bodies, the structures and the things that God creates are pretty resilient. So how do we know that a flood that flooded the whole world, it wasn't kind of like, how do we know that God didn't create the world to sustain something like that? See how beautiful it is up here, you know, all these trees, all of these like purple trees that are really nice. Just get one in quickly here. One on the show. I don't know what they are. Yeah, how do we know that God didn't create the world to be able to fill up with water and then go down like a basin? The water retracts and the land goes back to what it was. How do we know? You know, there's nothing in the Bible to say that the world was completely, well, maybe there is, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe there is something that's saying it was completely destroyed. And as far as I know, it doesn't point towards that. And all of the Old Testament, really what the Old Testament does is, another one of these trees, really in the Old Testament what it does is, I mean, in the book of Genesis, it sort of gives us a written account of everything, even the genealogies one by one of the different people. You know, Adam begot Cain and Abel and all of them, and this person begot that person, and they basically giving us their genealogy so we can know where things began and where it ended up, where they were at that time. So they were clearly trying to paint a picture for us and give us a structure of the world and where it started and where it had ended up at that point. So if they did that for all of the genealogies, for Noah's Ark and everything else, why would the Garden of Eden be any different? Why were they telling us a lie about the rivers? You know, I mean, they weren't, I don't think. I think they were telling us to give us a roadmap, and that's why I'm on the road here. Excuse the pun. And you know, I think we're onto something, Mensa. Taking a break here in the shade under this tree, as I imagine Adam would have done during the daytime when he got tired from his work as a farmer planting in the garden. I mean, this is only, you know, day one, and I've only seen just a scratch of the place so far, so you know, there's a whole area to explore and look around. So who knows what I'll see and what the place will really look like. I think there's some really nice areas around the whole of Elazig. Some nice boat trips you can do, and it's a pretty remote area that I don't think many people come here at all. It's very, like, I think it's thought of as very unspectacular. The irony, I mean, and I can't even imagine what will happen if people do start to recognize it as the real location. And this place is going to be filled up like a tin of sardines in a day. Yeah. Yeah, anyhow. When we sin into the world, all the plants grew thorns, and death entered the world. this place is, this hill is really a lot. There's a school there, and I'm heading up to that point there. It's getting hairy. I think I'm ready to get a car for this place or something. It's actually really big. The entire area. It's not something you can do on foot. I think the public transport's up the spout. So it's good fitness there. I'd say this is about this little walk. See the beautiful flowers. Yeah. Let's wander those bees slowly through the fields, slowly through the Garden of Eden with love. So on my way up to this castle, there's this little grave site here. I noticed there's quite a few of these graves that have like some, I don't really know what it means. Hang on, let me change the camera. I don't really know what they mean, but it looks to me like it sort of symbolizes the man and the woman, so the husband and wife probably. They have them quite a few places. One's broken. I wonder if that's a tradition in this area, going back years and years and years. You know, Adam and Eve, maybe they were buried here. I don't know. Now I gotta get up there. Damn. Whew. So this isn't the castle, this is like some other kind of lookout point. You know, what's interesting is that this whole area is quite hilly. There's like lots of little hills and stuff, but it's really not something that's over the top extreme, you know, like it's not something that's not manageable for just a person walking around if you needed to, you know. It's not like mountainous in the sense, like a little valley, you know. It's kind of a place you would think two people could have a little bit of space and move around and still feel, you know, got their morning jogs and hill runs in. It's like a little village. It's quite cool. Take a seat on one of these benches. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, I have some iced tea. Good thing is I think I've done most of the hilly part now, so it's just flat towards the castle. That's my first little walkabout in, believe it or not, the Garden of Eden. Could it be? Yes, it could be. It's not a mystical garden, it's a place. And it's a puzzle that for some reason has eluded the world until a day such as this. Amazing. And I just wonder what other amazing things I'll find while I'm here. I always try and do that, but it never works. It works the other way around. Yeah. Oh man, I could go swimming there. Little love pods. There isn't a lot to see at this lookout point, just the statue of this, I think his name was Bayak, he was like some Turkish conqueror or something. So yeah, I just sat here having my Turkish coffee. I love these things actually. And then I'll go to the castle after this. The garden of Eden. I think the Garden of Eden is a lot bigger than what I've just showed you though so far on day one. Obviously a lot more to see. The area itself is broken down into 4 like little smaller areas. Elazig and Service, I think it's called, and which is near a lake. So there's quite a few places to see within the designated area. If I manage to get to all of it. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what there is to see. Benjamin Netanyahu. Quite a cool little village. Actually reminds me of a village I went to in South Korea. Like Asian style. It's Turkish. I think there's some relation in Turkish and Asian. Yeah, they've got quite a nice area all around up here. Lots of restaurants and stuff on top of this hill. This area could be really, really nice if they, you know, if it had more tourists and a bit more money invested into it and stuff. I guess then it would lose its little charms of it. Just a bit more. And I think when people realize what it is, or potentially anyway, but it will get busy one time and crowding here. I don't know what this is. Some kind of skew tower. This whole place just reeks. Garden of Eden. Wonder if they have any snakes in this area. This is called the Harput Castle. Don't know when it was built. Don't know anything about it. Obviously some kind of Turkish from the Turks when they were defending this place. Chilling under the tree. Nice. Yeah, that house there around the hill. The freaking Sultan lives there or something. Okay, let's go see this Castile. It's free. This castle is actually pretty big. A little small. Actually some kind of ruins down here. I'm gonna go check out first before I see the castle. What it is. Looks interesting. Yo, it's springtime and it's freaking hot, man. Burning like a real Brit. My neck. I don't know what this place is. It's right down below the castle, but it looks really, really old. Couldn't find it on the map what it actually is. So interesting. So it's got these like old you can see the old pillars in the wall and stuff. And it looks like it's been done, you know, it's a really old brick, so it's been done by hand. You know, but we don't think of Adam and Eve as being very smart or knowing many skills or anything like that. And we don't really know that. They may be really skilled. in different types of things. And people back then lived to like 1,000 years. It's a long time to learn stuff. It really looks old, this. Looks like one of these like Roman ruins. I wonder. So, foundation of this castle is like this massive rock by the looks of it. And this thing will probably stand forever. Another lookout point. Yeah, see that. Right on the hill here, so you can shoot down people coming up. It's real Game of Thrones stuff, this. Okay, let's go into the dungeon. First of all. Yo, man, this is cool. Oh, this thing is done. Oh, this is going roast for neck. It's moist down there. There's water dripping down as well. So they built these big caves, man, where they could chill out and hide from their enemies, I guess. I wonder if that goes down to the other side to get escape. Okay, finally made it to the top. It's the top of the castle, but you can't go near that. Whew. Back in the day, they didn't have these banisters, so could they shoot their machine guns from up top here, shoot the people coming in. And if you're really bad, over you go, head first into that bin there. Sack. Interesting. It's actually interesting that Jesus was predicted right in the beginning of the Bible, in the book of Genesis. And God said to the serpent, You'll bite his heel, but he will stamp your head. And he will stamp the head of your offspring. See, what God was talking about there was Jesus crushing the head of Satan and Satan's offspring, which is the coming Antichrist, whoever that may be. So, Jesus was there from